Well, we're live. Hi, welcome to the broadcast. And today is going to be a little different. We're going to teach you how to deal with adversity. During the pandemic, we all did something. A lot of people learned to cook, a lot of people learned other things. I watched a lot of YouTube, and somehow I started out with learning about quantum physics, and I learned as much about that as I could. I learned a lot about it. I learned how to visualize 7 dimensions. There's actually a book written by a woman who goes into particle physics and helps you understand how 7 or so dimensions could exist. That's, super crazy stuff. And I got to the point where I understood enough of it. Understanding anymore would be only for somebody who's going to make a living at it. And later on, I came to study philosophy, and in particular, the Stoic philosophers. And Stoic philosophy is all about helping you deal with adversity. And it's not wimpy, it's not hallmarky, it's serious business. And the thing that really grabbed me was the 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 people that came up with it. It's an ancient Greek philosophy, but I started with the philosopher Musonius Rufus, who was a Roman philosopher at the time of Nehru, and I believe, or Epictetus, who learned from Musonius Rufus, and then Seneca and Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius was one of he was the last of the 5 good emperors. That's what they're called, the 5 good emperors. And there are any number of rules in Stoic philosophy about how to deal with adversity. I'm going to give you rule number 1 today. Sean, how you doing? Sean Stapleton. We're learning how to deal with adversity today. The pandemic was interesting because I never would have learned this. I never would have gone there in my brain if it weren't for the pandemic. A lot of stuff never would have happened. I probably wouldn't be this involved online, right? Which I like. By the way, I finally got the lighting set up, and I'll tell you how I got my lighting set up afterwards in case you want to know. So now, how to deal with adversity, the Stoic philosophers. There are 2 kinds of things. There are the internals and the externals, things we can control and things we can't control. Now, I know that this is something you've learned about. There's that old platitude of God grant me, the ability to deal with the stuff I can, forget about the stuff I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference. Well, that comes from this. There are some things you can control and some things you can't control. And initially, it's difficult to stop worrying about the stuff you cannot control. But once you start to realize how dumb it is, what a waste of time it is to spend any time worrying about stuff you can't control, then it's easier to stop it. If we all have things we can't control. What might it be worried about? What might you be worried about? Sean, you have him there. Let's say you're worried about an upcoming doctor's appointment. There's nothing you can do. You've chosen your doctor. You're going to the appointment. There's nothing you can do. Any time spent worrying about that is complete waste of precious time and precious life. It's a waste of your life, almost a criminal waste of your life. And it's like a muscle. After you can practice just shutting off worrying about that. Now, I'm a worrier, but a lot less so since I started studying this stuff. And it's easier for me now, and I'm a much happier person because I have the ability to, as soon as I realize what I'm doing, to kind of shut it off. It is a muscle. Let's say I'm worried about a meeting with a work person or anything at all. Is there anything I can do? Have I done everything I can do? Yep. No, don't spend a second thinking about it. And the more you do this, the easier it gets. And here's a key. If you can master this, you will be way ahead of people who don't master it, because all the time that you save by not worrying about stuff you can't control, you can apply to stuff you can control. Let's say you can't find a job and you need a job, you're running out of money, your kids need a dentist appointment, whatever. You could worry, spend time in your head. Oh, I'm a bad person. My kids are going to have cavities and rotten teeth. They need to go to the dentist. They need Invisalign or whatever. And, all that time that you worry about them not having it is some time you could apply to brainstorming about how to make it happen, how to change things that you can change. In other words, all the time, in this case, looking for a job, all the time that you spent sweating about your kids not being able to go to the dentist, you could have applied to getting a job. And there you go. Practice it. These people that invented this had so much to worry about. For example, imagine being Marcus Aurelius. He's emperor at a time of a plague. There's horrible stuff going on, and he's kind of responsible for everything. He's the emperor of Rome, and he spent his time with this Stoic philosophy. This is what it's called, Stoic philosophy, and it worked for him. As a matter of fact, he used to jot down his thoughts, and they're collected in a thing called the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. And if you go to my YouTube channel, you can find the short version, which is a half an hour, or the long version, which is 4.5 hours. Go with the short version. There's also a thing, I think I put it on my Facebook. I mean, on my YouTube. I think I bookmarked it. 12 Stoic rules that will change your life. Stoicism and a few rules are a big thing that I was not aware of. So Musonius Rufus, things were tough back in Rome. You get killed easily. You get, what do you call it? Kicked out of Rome. That was a bad thing. Exiled. Musonius Rufus, he was exiled. And Epictetus, who was taught by Musonius Rufus, he had his own problems. And people would come from miles around. Rich people, heavy hitters in the government would come around to hear him expound his philosophy. And he was a big deal. And there's a reason for it. Luckily, there was some young guy who sat down and wrote it all down. So Epictetus's sayings and thoughts are written down. And then next was Seneca, who was a philosopher. And then next was Marcus Aurelius. Those are the big ones. Musonius Rufus, Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius. And it's good enough for these guys. It's not some hippie sitting in some room with a tie-dye t-shirt, smoking pot and saying this stuff. These rules were arrived at by people who spent their lives thinking about how to live, and by people who had real challenges, and they used these philosophical rules to get by. And if it's good enough for the emperor of Rome, and he was one of the super good guys, it's certainly good enough for me. I like it because it's no BS. It's not wimpy. Now, in some of the rules are difficult for me, and we'll get to those another time. But this one is not difficult. This is straightforward, and it's just a matter of practicing it. If you find yourself spending any time thinking about something, think, is this anything I can do anything about? If not, just stop. How do you just stop? One way is just stare ahead and look at a building. Start walking and just looking at stuff. Your mind will get distracted. And each time you find yourself going back, stop and look at something and keep walking. Walking is such a gift. And it's a way to deal with focusing on stuff that is pointless to focus on. If you find yourself focusing on something that you can't do anything about, walk. And just stop for one thing and start walking. Stop thinking about it, start walking and looking at things, and your mind will click away from it after a while. And start thinking about angles on the issue that you can do something about. Maybe you don't really like your doctor. You have to go to an appointment. You're worried. Maybe you don't like your doctor. Okay, you could change that. You could go find a doctor maybe you're more comfortable with. Maybe you could have someone go with you to take notes and stuff so you don't have to worry about it. There are things that you can do. Only think about those. Spend no time thinking about stuff you can do nothing about. Easier said than done? Yes. Am I perfect at it? No. But I work on it, and it has had a massive effect on me. So what can I do? There's nothing. This is stupid for me to think about it. It just is what it is. If I die, I die. If I lose my job, I lose my job. Trust me, there are far worse things than losing your job. It is what it is. Do not waste time on it. It's a muscle. Practice. Flex that muscle. There you go. That's it for today. That's rule number 1 in Stoic philosophy. Now, if you'll notice, the lighting in this is really good. Here's what I did. I'm surprised in this world where our only connection with the world is through the internet and through video conferencing, really, like Zoom, and this is StreamYard. And I would think that you would all go for it. Kate. Oh, Kate. Okay, we have to do a Zoom. Do you want to do one today? Later? Private? Very, very private. Kate I have a history with Kate. She worked at WBCN. We went on a trip. She was included on a trip to Colorado to Crested Butte with the ski team. Yeah. Many a memory. Thanks for the memories. Good memories. I'm getting off topic. Sorry. Let me tell you about this lighting and then I'll go. And then Kate, I'll send you an invitation right after. Lighting, very important. Have a little fun with your background. People who have boring come on. You can get a green screen. Do it. A green screen sounds complicated. I should save this for another thing. I suppose I'll do it again. But while you're here, for those of you who are here, here's the secret. A green screen is, you can buy them on Amazon. You do not need a screen, really. You just get a cloth. There's a particular color of green. You can get this cloth. I got one, and it came with sort of clips and rings on the end, and I put bungee cord, little hooks in the ceiling, bungee cord, and whenever I do a broadcast, I just hook the screen. Click, click. When I'm done, I unclick it. It hangs off to the side. Thing number 2, you need good lighting. And I try to have professional lighting, but you can do it super cheaply. You can get those ring lights. I got them. I don't like them. These kind of lights, people use them. This is not on, by the way. I don't know why it looks so on, but yeah, you can try this. These are $25 each. Comes with its own tripod, but not necessary. You can go to a hardware store, or just go to Amazon and get those clamp-on work lights. There are 2 sizes, the big one, like that diameter, and then the little one, like that diameter. I got one little one. Then I got 2 more. So now I have probably I'm overkilling a little bit. 3 of them each has a 100-watt LED bulb, 2700K, because that gives you a nice full spectrum light, 2700K. It's not some awful blue light. So I have one pointing straight up. It's a white ceiling. Most people have white ceilings. I have one pointing that way and one pointing that way. And I would say those are $10 each. A light bulb, another $2. 100-watt LED, 27K. One going that way, one going that way, and one going that way. Now on the sides, I have white cardboard. Just big pieces of white cardboard. And that sort of reflects in a professional, soft way the light. They're probably 4 feet by 4 feet, just propped up here, propped up here. So 3 lights, 2 pieces of cardboard, you're good to go. Then the trick is you choose photos. And so after you set up your green screen and you have it lit, it just looks like there's some green cloth behind you. But then you go into your app, either Zoom or StreamYard, and it will say, you will click that you want to use a green screen, and you upload photos, backgrounds you think will work. This is a bar in Belgrade, Serbia, I think, or Estonia. And the lighting looks right. The colors, you need to match it with what you're wearing. If I were wearing something different, I'd have a different background. But that's kind of brown in the background. And so it kind of goes with what I'm wearing. Also, the lighting in the place needs to kind of match the lighting that's on you. So experiment with lighting both on you and the lighting that exists in the photos. The other thing to do is the size kind of has to match up. Like the distance, the furniture in the background, stuff kind of has to look like you could really be sitting there. Like, see that refrigerator in the background over there? It looks about the right size. If I was sitting here, the refrigerator would be that size. So the distance, the point of view you have there. You want to see me, just for the magic of this, you want to see me change? Let's see if I can do it. I go to my green screen and I scroll through the photos I have. Now this one comes with it. This is not my house. It doesn't really look quite right? Because it looks okay, but it doesn't look like it's matching. The color's off. The size is a little off. So here's one that seems to work all the time. Well, this is a hookah bar. This is not the one, but it's not bad. This is a hookah bar in Belgrade. This is a restaurant in Belgrade. It doesn't work. It doesn't work with this outfit. It doesn't really work with anything. I don't know why I still have it up here. Meh. Not at all. This is Luxor. That right there, you see, is the hookah pipe I bought, and I still have it to this day. Come on now. Where's that? This one does not work. The color's way off. See what I mean? I'm sticking out. It looks goofy. This is a guy's house in Morocco, just outside of Casablanca. Imagine having this house. And where's the one I use? No, I don't even see it. Oh, here we go. There. This isn't bad. I'd have to sit up a little closer to make it look right, I think. It's all right. This is another bar in Belgrade. So think about the lighting on you, the lighting that exists within the photo, the matching. Like, this is almost too bright. Let's move this back a little and see if it looks. Yeah, it looks a little better, right? Because I'm not so bright. You do need a light to make it work and not have a bunch of artifacts. See, I can move around here. You don't see this gray stuff behind my head. Even my hand is pretty good. If you don't have enough light, you'll see kind of an outline behind that outlines you from the background. You need plenty of light. It's easy to have plenty of light and then back it off some than it is to not have enough light. And the colors and the size. So that's it for today. Kate, I will say goodbye, and I'll shoot you I'm going to shoot you a StreamYard invitation. That's what I use. Here's another thing. A lot of people use Zoom. Zoom is really good, but there are others. StreamYard is what I use because I use StreamYard because it does a couple things. One, it allows you to stream to multiple platforms at the same time. For example, Lou Duffy comes up to us from Facebook, and you can see the Facebook icon right here. So he's coming to us from Facebook, and it comes into the app. You do not need to open another iteration of Facebook to see it, which I did in Zoom, which was a pain in the neck. So I have a column on my right, sees all the comments and where they come from. For example, Melinda, sweet Melinda, comes from YouTube, and Lou from Facebook. Melinda again. Tom Porter comes to us from Facebook. He's up in the mountains of Appalachia, believe it or not. Kate on Facebook. Lou says, Yad. Wow, is that Arabic? Swahili? Yad. Does he mean Yadud? Is that short for Yadud? All right, I don't want to burn you out. Oh, let me just talk about the other things that StreamYard does. So the comments come into the app. That's a big deal. Also, it can make scrolling banners like this. I can have it be stationary, or I can edit it and make it scroll. Let me make it scroll. Make this one scroll. This was from a different thing. Which president was first to visit all 50 states? That was from a different show. And you can put a brand, your little logo up in the corner if you want. Me. You can do private chat. Me. And then there are settings. So the streaming to multiple platforms and the banners. The two new things are you can take a video and play an existing video as if it were live. I've not done that. And brand new thing is you can do a slideshow without screen share somehow. And that screen share is a pain in the neck. And you can, in order to share the screen, you can see the desktop of the screen you're sharing a photo of, and maybe you got stuff you don't want there. So I guess this allows you to share within the app. And you don't have a lot going on these days, right? COVID's coming back. And so why not really go for it and master this whole, be the king or queen of your domain when it comes to this recording stuff. When I do interviews with authors and stuff, and they just have like bad lighting and some random background. I'm thinking, dude, we don't have much. At least maximize that. Come on, step it up a little. YouTube is not showing up for me. FB is. Do you subscribe? Everybody needs to subscribe to my YouTube pages, please. A lot of people don't like to subscribe, and I get it. But please do it anyway. Do me the flavor. Melinda, are you going to up your game? It's fun. You can. Oh, another thing StreamYard has is they're always there to chat, tech support, and they're instantly there. And you do a text chat. And I know that old folks like me like talking, but the chat is good enough so you kind of get over it. Very excited. I got the new iPhone with a new camera, and I'm getting a gimbal, a semi-pro gimbal recommended by Bob Levine and Jeff Hudson. So I'm going to do that. And there you go. I got to get something to eat. Oh, I'm trying to fast. Gained a little weight over stupid Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's not stupid. I am. And, I'm going back to my hardcore Spartan diet of sardines, broccoli, and an apple. I'm trying not to like food. I try to use food as fuel. It's just fuel. I try to eat when I feel faint or sick. That would be the best. You should just eat when you have to eat. I mean, this whole thing of making food equivalent to love, food is equivalent to, is an activity. Sit down and take your time. No, man, it's food. It's fuel. I'm just putting it in me like gas in a car. I don't even want to enjoy it. I try to make soup that tastes bad. I'm not kidding. Doesn't taste good. So what? Good. All right. I should quit now. Please sign up for everything. I'll post links to all my social stuff. Can you please sign up to all of it? Ciao for now.